Who here voted in the last federal election of Canada? No one? Okay. If you don't know, it was held in 2021. And, well, Trudeau is still in office, so we all know how that turned out. For those of you who voted, congratulations. You participated in a government system we know as democracy. Democracy is commonly associated with the free world. Hell, I may be even as bold as to say it is the face of the free world. So then why are there people who criticize democracy if it's so good? Well, I'm here to say, hi, I'm one of those crazy people who is here to tell you that democracy is just a big disaster covered in sugar and honey. Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Anne, and today I'll be speaking to you about why democracy is not as good as you think it is. One of the main criticisms against democracy is its lack of political stability that it provides. Because we're constantly voting leaders on and off the political stage, things are always changing. Laws and policies are always changing. The political stance of that country is changing. One example that I often find myself retreating back to is Ukraine. After the collapse of the USSR, which happened very recently in 1991, there emerged two major parties in Ukraine, the Democratic Party and the Communist Party. What essentially happened was one party was voted on, and then the next term, the other party was voted on. So the Democratic Party, and then the Communist Party, and then the Democratic Party, and then so on and so forth. How much political stability does that provide? None. As someone on the other side of the voting box, even though I'm not old enough to vote, I myself have seen what I would consider one of the biggest weaknesses of democracy, the people, the citizens who vote and decide on the future of their country. A wise man once said, democracy is basically a government of the people, for the people, by the people, but the people are stupid. I agree. Sorry, not sorry, but is it just me, or is the average IQ of your typical citizen going down? Is it just a loud minority? I don't know, but I genuinely think that we're getting more and more gullible and easier to fool with each passing generation. I think a part of that is how easy it is to access information nowadays. As a fairly active Twitter user, I can confirm that misinformation is everywhere on that site. And that is a major problem because it is the people, the citizens who vote, they are the driving force of democracy. You win the people's hearts, you win the election. Or you can lie and trick your way into the people's hearts, which works just as well. My proof? Ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to introduce you to the 45th President of the United States of America, more commonly known as Donald Trump, the Donald Trumpet, or that one orange guy. Donald Trump is democracy's greatest failure, the mistake child of the 21st century, and there is one word that perfectly describes Donald Trump: authoritarian. Authoritarianism is, according to Google, the enforcement or advocacy of strict obedience at the expense of personal freedom. That basically means, hey, you're going to do exactly what I say, how I say it, and you are not going to question it. Trump is absolutely infamous for that. Trump and his supporters that would be on his side no matter what he does. Just a few examples of what Trump has done. Sexually assault women, engaged in tax fraud with his father, refusal to recognize COVID-19 as a serious threat, which millions of Americans then had to pay for, made cannabis legal, and so much more. Donald Trump is the poster child of everything wrong with democracy. He easily lied, manipulated, and pressured the American masses into voting for him, leading to his victory in the 2016 election. So after everything I said, how come democracy is still such a widely used form of government? Well, as Winston Churchill once put it, no one pretends that democracy is perfect or all-wise. Indeed, it has been said that democracy is the worst form of government, except all those other forms that have been tried from time to time. Basically, what that means is that democracy is not the best form of government. It is simply the least worst. So now it seems like we have no choice but to use democracy, right? I refuse that. We could always turn back to good old communism. But all jokes aside, I believe our best alternative is a system called noocracy. Basically, the way noocracy works is that we give all the important decision-making positions to smart people who won't make stupid decisions. Now, Now, you may be asking, how do we determine who is smart and fit for these roles? And my dear audience, I hear you. I hear and I understand you, because I myself have been asking this question for quite a while now. Do I have an answer? No, but that's part of the problem. Democracy is barely explored as a system. We cannot determine whether it is good or fit as a replacement for democracy if we never try and improve it. Ladies and gentlemen, our governments are a system that determines how we live, what we can, where we can or cannot say, see, or think, whether we have enough to pay for the roof above our heads, and so much more. I think it is time we start to think about how we can improve a flawed system such as this one. Thank you for listening.